So in this video, we're going to look at our percentages and how we represent those with models. Remember, percent means the number per 100. So one of our models we can use is obviously a hundreds chart. So our first example here, we're going to look at a common percentage, which is 25%. I've outlined 100 squares. Okay, so a 10 by 10 grid. And in order to show 25%, we need to show an equivalent area. So bottom we'll use 10. Then we'll do the next row up, should be 20. And then we'll need 5 more individual squares. If we count all these up, it would be 25 out of 100, which we know is equivalent to 100%. Or 1/4 if I reduce my fraction. If I look at the decimal, it is 0.25. So now we're going to look at the two models we need to know for grade 8. So we're modeling greater than 100%. So each one of these individually, all filled out, would be 100%. If I add both of these together, I'm going to end up with 200%. So both 100% models together will give me 200%. Now we'll model some percents that are less than 1% or contain a decimal. So in our regular hundreds chart, I'm going to isolate one square. If I divided that square up into 100 equal pieces, that would represent 1/100th, each one. This is where we come up with our name for 100s or our hundreds chart versus our hundredths chart. 100 hundredths will give me 1%, or the number 1. So let's model this fraction, 0.1%. That's actually 1/10 of a percent. That means I'll have to fill in 10 1/100ths in order to show that. Now let's look at 0.72%. Again, this is still less than 1%, so we have to show it in our hundredths chart. So I'm going to highlight 7 total squares, or groups of 10, for my 0.70%, and 2 individual squares for the 0.02%. If I add those two together, I have 0.72%, or 72 over 10,000 is my equivalent fraction. And our decimal here is 0.0072. Let's look at an example that's reading or showing a model combining all three that we've looked at. So if I divided this up into 3 sections, I need 100%, I need 20%, and a model to show 0.17%. So the 100% is pretty easy. I need to fill in 100 squares. I need 2 groups of 10 for my 20%. And in my hundreds chart, or hundredths chart, I need to isolate 1 square and show 17 total squares. Adding all those up would give me my total. Now we're going to create a chart, and we're going to try and interpret what we have. So we look here. My first hundreds chart shows me 100% because it's completely filled in. The second one, if I count up, I have 8 groups of 10 and 3 individual squares. That would give me 83%. And I'm shown here, I'm isolating less than 1%. On the third chart, in my hundredths chart, I have 6 groups of 10 and 8 individual blocks filled in for 0.68%. All I have to do is add those 3 together, and I'll get my total. So 100 plus 83 plus 0.68. I have 183.68%. That's what's shown in this model. Thanks for watching.